Before we get started with this video, let me just apologize ahead of time for the mic quality. I know it's going to be bad, but I'm going to do my best to fix this as much as possible in post. We're currently out of town. I was not planning on making any videos, but I did bring some cheap stuff with me just in case. Our oldest just graduated basic training. Super fucking proud of that kid. We've got a little 4-day break, so we're just getting some R&R. I don't know if you can tell right outside of me here, but there's that's a big giant body of water there. Anyway, the topic I want to go over is Hunter Kozak and whether or not he's involved in either actually helping plan, having foreknowledge, or whatever. The accusation, right, is that somebody found footage of him rehearsing what his reaction to Charlie Kirk being shot was going to be. And it's a small clip going around. Like, I found sort of a longer version of this. Let's just take a look at it quick. So this is him, right? Front row, just rehearsing what his reaction's going to be to when Charlie gets shot, just right in front of everybody. I don't know what he's doing here, to be honest with you. I have no clue, but it's really hard for me to imagine that if he was going to rehearse what his reaction was going to be, that he would do it just out in front of everybody, knowing that there's cell phone cameras all over the place. Yet he's just going to do this right out in front of everybody. That's not the hardest thing you're going to have to convince me of. The most difficult thing that you're going to have to convince me of is this. Let's go to it. So we can see him right here, right? We all know, right there. Okay, so for one, he didn't stick to his rehearsal. He doesn't go hands all the way up on top. He actually puts his hands up and covers his ears, which makes a lot of sense. So this is what you're going to need to convince me of if you want me to get on board with Hunter Kozak being involved. You're going to have to convince me that he knew that somebody was going to shoot Charlie Kirk. And if he knew that somebody was going to shoot Charlie Kirk, I would assume that he would at least have an idea of where he was going to shoot him from. So if the plan was that he was going to ask him a question about gun violence, and that during that exchange is when he was going to be shot, which is what a lot of people are alleging, then you have to convince me that Hunter Kozak, this kid right here, you're going to have to convince me that this dude had the balls to willingly put himself within the fucking path of a bullet. Knowingly volunteered to put himself within the path of a bullet. Is there anybody that you trust enough to stand in the path of a bullet from 100+ yards away and just be like, yeah, no, this is cool. This is fine. And if that's the case, if you do know somebody that you would be willing to do that with, how long have you known them? Are there pictures of you together? Would it be easy to find communications of you two? I don't think what we see from Hunter Kozak is a scripted, rehearsed reaction to somebody being shot right in front of them. I think that's a very natural reaction that we're seeing. I can't imagine that Hunter Kozak has had so much experience with bullets whizzing by him and cracking by him that he has the ability to not react to that and just go with a planned rehearsal reaction. To convince me that this kid had anything to do with it, you are going to have to convince me that this kid has so much experience with bullets whizzing by him that he's just going to willingly put himself in the line of fire, and that he's going to have such control of his emotions that he's going to be able to go off of a rehearsed reaction that he was having. And I don't buy that for a second. Now let's take a look at his video and see what he says.
This is not a video for my followers. This is a video for all of these psycho online detectives who are still a month later coming into my account. I have learned something about conspiracy theorists, which is that you cannot extinguish the flames. there are 30 some odd connections as to how you guys think I'm involved. It's awesome. It's great. I'm done answering them. I'm just going to block you guys. This is the last response that I'm going to make. I just want to show you some of them. One of them is that my video was 3 minutes and 33 seconds long, which can only mean one thing. This person's schizophrenic. I love this one where they found music that I made 10 years ago when I was like 18 years old. Some of the titles of the song were I'm Sorry, which was about an ex of mine. If Looks Could Kill, which that was about anorexia. And the 10th of December. Holy shit. Wait, that was named after a George Saunders short story? Well, he must be in on it too. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you live a pretty public life and make a lot of things, you can draw coincidences and connections to anything. I've got like 40-something cousins, and then you guys find my Facebook page and start harassing my relatives, and you'll find some, I guess, coincidences. Holy shit, he was in a community theater play 7 years ago. That must mean he's a crisis actor.
I don't necessarily feel bad that this guy has to deal with this shit. Just because I'm sure he's been a nuisance to many a people. So I don't feel bad that he has to deal with crazy fucking people online. With that said, it's only fair that I call it how I see it and in some way come to his defense. I really don't believe that this dude had anything to do with it. And you're going to need a lot more than he rehearsed his reaction. Here's the proof to convince me otherwise. That's not going to do it. I don't think you will. I don't think you'll ever convince me that this kid right here knowingly put himself in the path of a bullet to make a point. Just doesn't make sense. And then I also don't think that Tyler Robinson was sitting on that roof just plotting and waiting for Charlie Kirk to say the right thing before he shot him. I think that was just a strange coincidence. It was just very, very lucky or unlucky timing, depending on how you look at it. I think Tyler Robinson got to that roof, did whatever he did up there as quick as he could, got to the point, and then take the shot as soon as he could, and then ran the fuck out of there. And I know everybody likes to do like these deep dives and find all of these crazy connections, right? Find me connections between Hunter Kozak and Tyler Robinson. Show me that they knew each other well enough that Hunter Kozak was comfortable putting himself in the path of a bullet coming from Tyler Robinson. Show me that, and then we can talk more about Hunter Kozak being involved. Until you can do that, nah. Nope. You're not going to convince me.